Welcome to your movement mobility. Today we're going to be working a lot into those hips, but we're going to be crawling around the floor a little bit, trying some different transitions that maybe we haven't come across before in our usual flows. And this one is just to get a little bit more exploration around the body and movement into those joints. So we're going to start just in our child's pose. Bring big toes together, knees wide. Walk those hands up in front of you and draw forehead down towards the floor. To begin with, we can sway into those hips. Let's take a couple of breaths together, maybe closing the eyes or just taking a nice soft gaze to tip of the nose. Inhale deep. Exhale, relax the body. If you want to activate your stretch, push into those hands now. Stretch out a little bit further into that spine. Draw the sit bones down to the heels. We can sway side to side into those hips. We will be starting a little bit with those hips. So maybe just rocking into them if they're not feeling super open today. And coming back to your child's pose. Once you feel like you have connected with your breath enough, we're going to come up into our tabletop position. Ground down through those hands, ground down through the knees. From here, we're just going to take a few cats and cows. Inhale, navel comes forward. Exhale, round through the spine, drishti towards the knees. Just a couple of these. If you'd like to come into your spinal waves, feel free to do so. One more. And once you finish that breath, we'll meet back at neutral in our tabletop position. Let's begin to open these hips now. So coming into like our fire hydrant variation, where we're opening up through that hip, we want to imagine we've got a book flat on the lower part of the spine, and we're not swinging that leg, opening that gate really high. We're just working on that joint in the hip socket here, squeezing and back down, open and back down. So again, we're not opening these hips fully, just working and isolating on that little joint through that hip there. Open, close. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take foot behind, flex through the toes, knee to sky, keep a 90-degree angle in that leg. Now we're taking some nice big circles, opening up through the hips now. 3, 2, 1. Take that circle in the other direction. And 3, 2, 1. We're keeping nice and strong through the core. We're going to take our foot behind us now, still on the same leg, right leg, and we're going to cross it over the back of the other one. Rainbow taps. So these can be as small or as big as you want to make them. You can tap the floor in front of you here, or keep it high, keep it extended. Completely up to you. Or we can bring the knee in if a full circle isn't available to us because of space or room in that hip. And let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Plant that leg back down. Other side, coming back into those hip lifts, into the ball joint. Open and close. Nice and straight, flat back. Engage the core here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And big circles. Take foot behind. Open that hip now. Keep that knee nice and high. Keep a 90-degree angle in the knee. Big circles. And 1. Take those circles in the other direction. Now open and close. 3, 2, and 1. Draw that knee down. We're extending left foot back now, crossing it just behind the right and coming into those taps on the other side. Your mobility might be a little bit different on this side, and that is okay. It will be a little bit different on each side depending on that hip. So maybe it's coming round Again, keep that core nice and strong. Maybe we're tapping. 3, 2, and 1. And rest into those legs, big toes together, knees wide, walk those hands forward. Child's pose. Oh my gosh, I need that. Really just reconnect with your breath here, and we'll be moving on very shortly. Lovely, when we're ready, let's walk up onto those hands. We're gonna push into hands, lift the hips, and we're gonna jump forward into our Malasana. We're taking feet either side of those hands, heels in, toes out, sinking the hips down. If you want to move, rock into your Malasana, feel free to do so, add some movement. It doesn't matter too much if we've got those heels lifted today, that's absolutely fine. Or we want to just spend a little bit of time here, get those hips down, chest up, and pour that weight onto the outside of our feet in our Malasana, our yogi squat here. Just taking a little bit of movement. Right, we're going to take our flow from here today. So I'm just moving back on my mat a little bit. So from here, you can take hands behind you to come into this transition. We can take hands behind to begin with and stretch that right leg in front of us. If you can, keep hands high. See if we can peel it off and lift, keep that sit bone lifted. But otherwise, coming from Malasana, take hands behind, push it through, and hold it here. And so this is our transition. Lift, and then we're going to take our right hand behind us, come onto that extended leg, and lift hips towards the sky. Lovely, coming into our wild thing. Take it all the way over to our plank, or 3-leg chaturanga as we come down. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, back to child's pose. Pause this video, take it back if you want to watch that transition again as it is. It's one of those, the more I talk through it, it's probably going to get a little bit more confusing. So have a little look at it and come back into it once more. And we're going to go on the other side now. So starting from our child's pose here. Push into hands, tuck the toes, jump into our Malasana. Sitting down, now we're going on the other leg. It'll be a challenge on the other side. Lift. Whoop, I cannot do it on this side. Lift that left foot off. Taking left foot behind. And again, we can sit down. Take left hand behind, left foot down. Inhale up to that wild thing variation. Now twist all the way over, coming into that 3-leg chaturanga, or normal chaturanga, or knees, chin, chest. Up dog or cobra, exhale, back to our child's pose. So it's a fun little transition, and hopefully that made somewhat sense of me explaining it. But again, feel free to pause and revisit back over that video to come over that transition again. Lovely. And from here, we are going to push into those hands, lift through the hips, cross through the ankles, and we're going to see if we can come forward into seated. So we want to end up legs out in front here. This is our aim. To get there, we're going to start pushing into these hands. You can have blocks underneath you here to create a little bit more room. We want to push into shoulders, create some space through those shoulders, and lift through the hips. As we jump, we want a soft jump. So begin practicing that jump through. See if we can get a little bit of air time. And then as we do, we cross those ankles and feet come all the way through. So again, pause and watch again if you want to spend a little bit of time on that transition. So seated, behind, jump through to seated forwards. From here, we're going to take our left foot onto inside of right thigh. Inhale, arms up to sky. Exhale, hinge forward fold. Coming into our head to knee pose. Holding here. Inhale, exhale. And then from here, we're going to inhale, come up. Left hand comes behind. We're going to twist. Coming into our side plank. Just draw that left knee underneath you and realign the body to supported side plank. Or you can take it all the way down to your full side plank here on the left hand side. From here, we're going to twist forward, draw left knee behind left wrist. So we're twisting around this mat again. We're doing circles today. Coming into our pigeon now. Inhale up, exhale fold. Inhale, we come back up. We're going to tuck the toes of this back foot. Lift that knee towards the armpit, hold, squeeze, and send it back. And twisting back through our side plank, and then back to seated. We come to where we started. I hope, again, that made somewhat sense. We'll go on the other side. Right foot into thigh. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold over leg. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Taking right hand behind. Inhale, up. Supported side plank or side plank here. Coming all the way forward now into our pigeon, right foot forwards. Right knee forward, sorry. Left foot behind, inhale up, exhale down. Inhale, we come up onto those back toes. Draw the foot, draw the knee in towards that armpit, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then we travel back through that side plank and send the hips back down to where we started. Let's just take those legs out in front of us now. Shake off through those legs and lay back for a moment. Maybe draw knees up towards the sky, feet wide, knock knees in together. Let's take a couple of breaths here. One hand on the belly, one hand on the chest. Inhale deep. Exhale, relax. Send your breath to your belly. Draw that breath all the way up into the chest now. Up until it hits the back of the throat. And exhale, reverse this breath. Inhale deep. And exhale, reverse. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Unwind the body. And when you're ready, we can come up to seated, or you're more than welcome to stay. Take your Shavasana or meditation. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you again soon.
Thanks so much for joining, and don't forget to check out our other videos on our channel.
Also, subscribe to get notifications when we add new videos, and don't forget to like this one to share some love.